I'm here because I am struggling to regulate, okay? I can self regulate. That is a thing. Uh, I need to co regulate right now. And so I'm here to co regulate with, the world. Thanks for being here if you're here. Um, I had an incident happen today. The last week has been very rough anyway. Uh, I wasn't on my best behavior for like 4 days. Then the end of the week came and I was severely agitated by something, and then there was something that happened today that will actually continue on for the rest of the week. Um, and I'm very frustrated. I tried breathing. I tried just laying here in silence. I tried watching a show. I pet my cat, talked to my son, smoked some cigarettes. I know that's not healthy, but by the time this happened, it was kind of late in the day. I am still very much uh, not working out. And I really want to do that. Actually, they just made a bus stop right in front of there, so I'll probably start that in the next couple of days. Mm, Maybe not, because they just canceled school tomorrow because of the weather, and the temp is supposed to be about the same on Wednesday. So, excuse me. I'm tired. Obviously, I just yawned. Um, but I have a very tight feeling in my chest and in my solar plexus right now that needs released. But I'm kind of frozen, and not like in the temperature sense. I am currently in a functional freeze. I would like to talk about some of my sentiments. I want people to know that I do believe in myself. Okay, it's not an issue of if it's going to happen. It's a when it's going to happen. And when you sit and you're going over your plans, and okay, it's going to take me X amount of time to do this. Let's say I'm going for a degree. It's going to take me 4 years to do the degree. Um, Sometimes I sit and I'm like, oh, I should have done it sooner, but I really couldn't have. I am very easily burnt out. Like just doing the day to day stuff, burnt out. Can't function, really. Um, like I can cook, I can clean, I can take care of my son, I can go run my errands. But then if you try to like add anything else in there, it's very overwhelming. It's frustrating to know you're smart, you could do a lot, but like just constantly burnt out, man. Especially because I still have to walk everywhere if I'm not on the bus, and that in itself is exhausting, right? So anyways, if I wanted to go to school for 4 years, uh, and I needed to get a bigger apartment, we're looking at like a 6 years, okay? My daughter will be 11 this year, so that means by the time all that's done, she'll be 17. This year, my oldest son will be 18. So I kind of just like sit and think about how I've lost all my time with my son. Because when he's 18, he can do whatever he wants. And the chances of him wanting to be here are not likely for anything. I have to bribe him to come out the house, you know what I mean? So, yeah, tight chest, struggling to do anything at this moment. It's been about 6 hours. It'll be 6 hours and 7 minutes, essentially. um, so I would like to talk about the importance of co-regulation. Co-regulation is really important, and I think a lot of people discount it. As someone who has relied on self a lot of the time, what I long for most of the time is just to have somebody in these moments. So I get frustrated a lot because that's the one thing that's pretty much the whole point of my channel, really, is to bring us together for these moments of interdependence. Okay, like if I say, uh, I can handle this, I can, I will. I've handled it. I've been doing this, right? It's not like I haven't been doing it. Every single day is a day in which you self-regulate, right? Uh, well, not everybody self-regulates, I guess. And like I said, I did have a couple, like not a couple, it was like 4 days of just being dysregulated in general. Uh, Pretty pissed off about something. And no, I did not handle myself correctly. I did apologize to that person, but I don't, shit, I don't care. I don't care. Those moments of dysregulation for me, I realize just really boils down to that uh, inner child needing to have someone reach back out to them, you know? The self-reliance gets old. And I rely on God as well. I hear my son. He doesn't like when I close my door at night. I do not know what that's about, but I hate being controlled by a child. He's gonna try to tell me to come open my door or something. And it's again, it's like almost midnight, but he almost always notices. It doesn't matter if he's asleep. It's like the weirdest thing. He'll wake up and he'll know my door is closed. I don't know how. Most of the time, my TV is not on when I sleep. I don't sleep with my TV on. It's just better for you to not sleep with the TV on. Excuse me. Yeah, so I just came on YouTube to talk about my regulation issue. And how important co-regulation is, and how important it is for you to answer your friends' phone calls, especially if you told them you were going to call them, because they're just trying to co-regulate. I'm not saying that happened to me. I just know there's a lot of people out there that are struggling with that, or they see co-regulation in a negative way. So they refuse to co-regulate with their friends, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, whoever it may be, their daughter, their son. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, one thing I can also talk about too is how that is important in parenting, right? Um, Even now at the age of 7, I sometimes, not all the time, because I think 7 is a pretty good round age to start learning to regulate oneself. But I spend a lot of time co-regulating with Aaron, like making sure he's co-regulating. He's not co-regulating me by any means, um, but making sure that I am, sitting with him in his emotions. that could be hard for a lot of people. Sitting with people in their emotions is difficult sometimes because one, you definitely like for instance, if Aaron's crying about something and it's very touching, sometimes that'll cause me to cry too. And so I could see how that could be uncomfortable for other people to sit with someone who is in their emotions and not be moved. And so that fear of taking on someone else's emotions keeps you from co-regulating with someone who really needs that shoulder to cry on. That is not uh that's not what you're called here to do. We're interdependent. Co-regulation is required. Back in the day they just let babies cry, right? Until they realized that uh yeah, baby doesn't know how to stop crying. Most of the time, babies, if they stop crying, and you didn't do anything to assist, they just fell asleep because eventually their little bodies give out, right? But if you were not to tend to that child and help them with whatever it is they need help with, they'll continue to cry. They'll never regulate. So a person who experienced like uh, a lot of neglect in their childhood or anything like that, when they get older, even though they're an adult, and even if they've mastered self regulation, that co regulation will always be something that'll be kind of difficult for them. I'm not meaning to say always. That's a little bit too absolute, right? But um, they'll definitely struggle with co-regulation. So I just felt like talking about that because right now I am struggling to regulate, as I've already stated a couple times. Uh, and it's one of those moments in which, you know, I'm like, where, I forgot what I was saying. I went and looked at the chat real quick, and somebody's upset because I don't answer. I don't answer my chat, because it's not on, because I get distracted and I lose my train of thought, and I already struggle with my train of thought often. So many thoughts come in at once, and I tend to have like disorganized uh, speech patterns if I do not write it down, or if I'm not like very clear and concise about what it is I want to speak about. So sorry about not answering the chat. But anyways, continuing. Um, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to trying some breathing, and hopefully this feeling will pass. But um, because of what the incident is, um, chances are I will probably feel like this the rest of the week. Um, and just have to push through it, which is what I do anyway. So, oh, that I said something that you may relate to in this video. Have a good evening.